The great Cuban chess master, Jose Capablanca, who was also nicknamed the chess machine, is considered one of the greatest natural talents ever to play the game. He was never even taught how to play. He learned just by watching his father and uncle play. I mean, can you imagine learning something as complex as chess just by watching? At the time, Capablanca was 4 years old. He insisted on playing, so his father humored him, and the 4-year-old won the first game. And within 6 months, he was challenging the best players throughout Cuba. I only mention this because I had a similar experience as a child. When I was 4 years old, I learned how to play Three Card Monte by watching a hustler on the street corner. I won the first bet I made, and within 6 months, I was challenging the mob for control of gambling on the East Coast. I was also nicknamed the Love Machine, but well, that's another story. We'll get into that some other time. Now, Three Card Monte is not as old as chess, but it is one of the oldest con games. It goes back to before the Civil War on the Mississippi riverboats. And although it's over 150 years old, it's still being worked today in exactly the same way that they do on the steamboats. In fact, as far as I know, there's only been one very minor change made in the game since the riverboat days. And that's only that originally they would use a red card, usually a red ace of diamonds, and they'd use a second red ace of diamonds, and they'd use a black card, which they called the money card, because that's the card you had to pick to win the money. People knew they had to follow the black card. They knew that if they picked this card they lost, this is the winning card, also lose. They had to follow the black card. But people had such an easy time finding the black card that the Monte hustlers weren't making any money. They realized they're going to have to change the game around somehow. That's why the way they play today, they use only one red card and two black cards. That's the way we'll play today, with one red card as the money card and the other two blacks as the losing cards, which means, Natalie, that you have to try to keep track of the red card. And don't worry, Natalie, because I'm going to go very slowly. And I'm not even going to try to fool you the first time. But don't get cocky and overconfident, Natalie. Watch carefully. Watch the red, ignore the blacks. But, well, you probably saw that the red card ended up over here, right? Oh, where did you see the red card end up? Natalie, I'm trying to teach you how to play the game. You have to trust me. You know, thank you. I think it's about time that I leveled with Natalie and explained to her how this little swindle really works. But in order for you to follow the explanation, Natalie, you have to do one favor for me. And that favor is to watch the red card. In other words, try to keep track of this card. Try to ignore this card. Try to ignore this card. Now, most people would bet on this card. Of course, if you bet on this card, you're going to lose. This is also a loser because the Monte worker always keeps the red card over here. Okay. Now that you know how to play, Natalie, let's play for real. Now, don't worry if you lose, Natalie, because I'm not giving away any prizes if she wins. But this one last time, we will play for real. So you want to try to avoid picking this card. Try to avoid picking this card. Okay. This is the card they call the money card. As I do this, Natalie, I'm going to ask you one favor, and I'm very serious about this, and this time I really am serious. The favor is to watch the red card. Okay. In other words, to follow it with your eyes, so that later when I ask you, I don't want you to tell me where you think it is. I don't want you to tell me where you guess it is. I just want you to trust your eyes and tell me where you see it end up. Is that fair enough? Okay. Okay. Like I say, don't worry if you win or lose, but naturally you want to try to avoid picking this card. Try to avoid picking this card. This is the card they call the money card. I'm going to do this for you as slowly as I possibly can. I'll mix them a little to confuse you. But where did you see the red card end up? Where did you see it end up?
In the middle.
In the middle. This card is bent. I wonder how that happened. That's why you should never play Three Card Monte.